obviously she's been itching to play. So she looks good. You know, she feels good. She looks good, and you know, she's shooting the ball well. And you know, I think everybody's excited to have her back. Like I told her yesterday, you know, at the beginning of practice, it's not easy having to try out when you're a senior, but you know, she's not just going to get Molly's job just by showing up. So she went really hard the last 2 days trying to unseat our starting point guard.
Will you have to
who had
restrict
10
your
points
minutes?
by the last game.
Will you have to restrict your minutes at all?
I always want to, but there's no medical reason why I have to. But hopefully, you know, Molly having had an opportunity to play now, some meaningful minutes, gives us more of an opportunity to do that
Is this
if the need arises.
something that is going to carry on the rest of the season, or is it?
It might be. It might be. But, you know, right now, we're good to go. We'll see how it goes, you know, for the rest of the season. But right now, we're good to go.
What do you expect from Notre Dame? I saw some new faces, but as you said.
Yeah, you know, it's a different team. In so many ways, you know, it's our program against their program, but you know, the teams that have played against each other the last couple of years don't exist anymore, you know. But it's still UConn and Notre Dame, so obviously that has a lot of meaning to it. But they're, you know, they're young. They're young and they're finding their new roles. You know, they're getting a lot of experience playing together. You know, they still shoot the ball well. They still run their stuff really well. They execute. You know, so their philosophy hasn't changed much. It's just, you know, a completely different cast of characters.
Is it nice to get him in here? You haven't played him here in a while, right?
We haven't played them here in a while. Hell, I remember the last time we played them here, Marina Mabry was a freshman. She had like 19 in the first half. I'm like, why the hell we got to put up with this kid for 4 more years? It was brutal. But yeah, I am glad we're playing them here. I'm glad our students are on campus, and I think it's going to be a fun afternoon for sure.
Just circling the Aubrey for a second, but when you have a lot of players with families with athletic backgrounds, as their father, does that factor into, you know, interest in a player at all?
Not necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of former athletes, a lot of NBA players actually, who have kids playing in college. Some are better than others. Some are, you know, some are pressure-free. You know, they don't have to worry so much about living up to any kind of reputation. Some, I think, do get affected by the pressure sometimes of having to live up to their name, you know, that kind of thing. But whether your dad is an NBA player or your mom was a WNBA player, or whatever the case may be, that in and of itself, you know, doesn't really matter. Sometimes it can be bad because that parent's a pain in the ass because, you know, they played the game. They know more than anybody how the game should be played, you know, so it goes both ways. Aubrey is the most fortunate kid, you know, in America because she has 2 incredibly talented parents. She's got an incredibly talented family, and she's normal, and her parents are normal, and her family's normal, and they just, you know, really appreciate her for who she is and let her be her. She doesn't have to be, you know, her dad. She don't have to be her brothers. She just has to be Aubrey. The kid has such a great innocence about her that it's just really refreshing to coach.
With the team having played so many close games so far this season, having to come back from a 9-point deficit against Seton Hall, do you think having that kind of effort to have to fight back to kind of grind out a win will help in these bigger games coming up, whether or not it's Notre Dame or moving forward?
Yeah, I think so. I think the more times you're in that situation, you know, the more times you're faced with that, especially on the road. which seems like every game we played this year has been on the road. And all of a sudden, that Ohio State win looks really, really good at Ohio State, you know? So you do gain some confidence being in those situations. You know, you do feel like, you know, that whatever happens, we can handle this. Getting down 9 at Seton Hall, there wasn't any panic. There wasn't any, you know, oh my God, what's going on? You know, this team probably is used to having to struggle because that's what they're going to be faced with every single game. You know, and they're going to be in a lot more of those games as the season goes on. And hopefully we'll handle it as well as we've handled it to this point and get even better at it.
I think Batuli is she closer? Or
No, I can't imagine her being able to do anything, according to the doctors anyway, until sometime in January. So it's going to be a while for her, you know, just to be able to, you know, get some movement in that knee. So she's a long way away.
Was it nice to have Blue back here at practice?
No. It's like when Kalena Lewis and Stewie were here. It's not. It's not any fun at all because it just makes me go sit in my office and cry. But they're not here anymore, and I should have appreciated them more while they were here. But Lou was great today because, you know, she had Sam Brunell's job, shoot it. So it's not an accident that Lou showed up today. She got one job to do, shoot it. But she looks great. Lou looks great. She's actually bigger, stronger. She looks good. She's going to be here for a while, she said. So that's good.
You mentioned that Notre Dame has still a lot of offensive weapons. What are you looking for your defense? We saw a little bit, obviously, scout team-wise. What are you looking for your defense to do to kind of
I think
adjust?
we've got to be really mindful of their movement, you know, their screening, and the way they get each other open. You know, we've got to be very mindful of who the shooters are and who we have to guard. So it's not, you know, for this year's team, there's not like an outstanding individual defender that we can just say, you know, okay, that's yours. You know, a few years ago when we had Gabby and Kia, we always played every game almost 3-on-3. The other two guys that those two were guarding didn't exist anymore. So it was always 3-on-3. And we could win that battle 99 out of 100 times. Now it's every game we play, we have to guard everybody with everybody. So it takes a lot more coordination and communication by our guys. So a team like Notre Dame isn't easy because they do move a lot without the ball. So that's something that we're going to have to deal with.